Let me start by thanking you, the World Bank, and ESMAP for inviting me to sit on this panel. It's really quite exciting. Paris was about promises, and Glasgow as to be about delivery. So it's really good to see the momentum building here at COP26 on broader energy transition issues. So Gabrielle, you spoke a little bit about Canada's journey on the coal issue, and let me offer a bit of background. So in a few years ago, we announced that we were going to phase out coal within our own borders by 2030, but we quickly realized that that was not sufficient and that we wanted to play a bigger role. And that's why in 2017, we launched a Powering Past Coal Alliance in a very small packed room at Bonn, and we had 27 members at the time. And maybe some of you have seen the news, but today we're going to announce 28 new members for a total of 165, including some major economies from everywhere in the world and many regions from the finance sector and the private sector. In total, our private sector members will now represent 17 trillion in assets. So that's quite an accomplishment for what we're doing on the coal diplomacy front. Thanks in part to our effort, there's now 50% of the OECD that is either retired or is scheduled to close. But to the topic of today's conversation, we fully recognize that the challenges that developing countries face in phasing out coal are very complex and are very different. We understand that we cannot force them to make an impossible choice between quick and easily accessible energy from an economical perspective and what's good for the climate. We recognize that that's unfair and that developed countries and donor countries in particular need to step up and play an important role. You've mentioned, of course, and you made allusion to our recent climate finance commitment. So indeed, Canada has announced that it will double its climate finance contribution from 2.65 billion between 2016 and 2021 to 5.3 billion for the coming 5 years. And that as part of that commitment, energy transition, energy access, and the phase out of coal in the global south is something that we really want to prioritize. And the example that you gave of our recent announcement from Prime Minister Trudeau to provide 1 billion to the Climate Investment Fund's Accelerated Coal Transition Initiative is really a testimony of how important the energy transition and supporting developing countries in that journey will play in the years ahead. And of course, we're quite happy to be working in building a new relationship with ESMAP and with you, Gabriella, especially. I have to say that last May, when I last spoke with Rohit Khanna, I told him that I was really hoping that we would be able to make an announcement before his retirement, but better late than never. So we're really happy that we're able to come in and to work further with you. We really see our contribution to ESMAP as creating the backbone of the large-scale game-changing initiatives that we are planning to do through the CIF. So we're quite excited on that. Back to your question, and I'm going to address it maybe in a bit of a macro level, and going back to what developed countries, have agreed to. And I'm going to mention quickly a reference to the 100 billion goal that was agreed upon in 2009 and reiterated in 2015 in Paris. So as you may know, Canada was asked by Alok Sharma to develop a plan jointly with Germany on how and when that goal would be met. We were quite pleased to be able to release such a plan last week prior to COP that shows clearly that developed countries will meet that goal by 2023, that there is still a possibility that we do so in 2022, and that will likely exceed it in 2024 and 2025. We do recognize that we're late on our promise, but we are confident that being able to show a clear, transparent trajectory to meeting that goal is will help to rebuild trust here at COP. So maybe I can end on this note and just to say that there are so many things and so many challenges that we need to collectively look at when we're looking about the energy transition. I really welcome the different comments that have been made about the fact that the transition needs to be just, it needs to be inclusive, and that maybe we're looking at an energy transition, but maybe we're looking even further as a global economic transition, and Canada is really committed to play its role. Thank you.